All right. Welcome to the NorCal Sports Network, where today we're Eric Romo and myself, Dan Cochimilio. We're going to be talking about platooning. As you see there in the header, lineups, what works, what doesn't, and what prompted something like this subject, Eric. Well, I was thinking to myself, the other night I put out a tweet that I was pretty upset that Kapler pinch hit for Marco Luciano. And
Yep.
it dawned on me today, this morning while I was showering, I thought to myself, these guys don't platoon in the minor leagues. Luciano isn't ever pinch hit for a left-handed batter in the minors. Uh, Matos, Ramos, Von Brown, uh, McRae. Who else are their top
Right.
prospects? These guys, they're they're groomed, they're developed in the minors to face everything. And I thought to myself, it's his first game up. You just brought him up because your team just scored only 7 runs in the previous 11 games, 1.5, something like that, average per game, runs per game. In the month of July, you're last in almost virtually every offensive category. Luciano, the night before in Albuquerque, hits 3 balls over 109 miles per hour, including a home run that went over 110. You're ahead 5-3 in the bottom of the seventh. You're leading off the inning. He's going to see good pitches because you don't want to walk the leadoff
The
guy
leadoff guy, yeah.
late in the game when it's a close game. And I'm thinking, why the heck is Kapler pinch hitting for the kid? And then he brings up Jock. And I get it if Jock is just, crushing balls and he's only got like 10 home runs on the whole season. He's not actually lighting it up for the
Correct.
Giants this year. So what is the thinking? And it dawned on me, this is what the Giants think they have to do to win games.
This is their philosophy.
This is their philosophy. This isn't their philosophy in the minors when they're, grooming these guys to be major leaguers. It's their philosophy at the big league level that they think with Kapler and Farhan, this is their method of madness, that they pinch hit their probably the guy with the most raw power in the
In the organization
organization.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah. And uh and he's only had 2 at bats. The first at bat, the very first pitch he saw, he drove it to the right field wall where the right fielder was literally leaning up against the wall to make the grab. That tells you what kind of power he's got.
Yeah, especially at Oracle for a right-handed batter to hit it out that
Yeah.
far in the right field. Yeah.
Yeah, and we saw him batting practice, a clip of him supposedly hitting it off the Coke bottle, which is, if that's happened, that's absolutely ridiculous. Hasn't been confirmed, but there was a video clip that Danny Emmerman of KMBR put out that said Coke bottle power in the clip, and you see the ball going toward the Coke bottle, and you hear this giant thud sound, and you're thinking, did that just hit the Coke bottle?
Right.
Wow. So, and fans are excited to see
Yep.
Luciano. He gets a standing ovation, his
You've
first
been
at
waiting for
bat.
years for this guy to come
Yeah,
up.
waiting. Yeah, it's been, and then we finally arrive and we get this, uh,
First
this,
off, they're batting him eighth,
yeah, which
but
is
whatever.
unreal. But pinch hitting for him with a 5-3 lead. I get it if it's late in the game and you're tied or you're down one, or maybe, but up 2 in the seventh inning, you're playing the A's. My
And
goodness.
he's leading off. It's not like there's men on
Right.
base to knock him in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's the Oakland A's you're playing.
the
I mean,
worst,
they're not even a
the
major league
worst
team.
team in the major leagues.
Yes, 25 wins. I mean, they lose 75% of their games.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just unthinkable to me. So it got me onto this subject, and I thought to myself, what do the best teams in baseball do? What, up there in the graphic, you showed the Phillies and the Astros last year as the World Series, and then the teams that lost to them, the Padres and the Yankees. And I looked at their lineups, and I went through every World Series game. And Eric, with the exception of one, maybe two guys in the lineup, it was like seven guys in the same spot batting in the same
Right.
spot in the order every game,
Yep.
whether it was the Padres losing out to the Phillies or the Phillies losing out to the Astros beating everybody, the Yankees, falling short. They all played seven regular guys. And I
And you know
thought,
what? And the reason why they got to the NLCS was probably because they were playing those same regular seven guys all year long, minus injuries and giving guys some rest. That was your set lineup throughout the season. And that's the reason why, or one of the reasons why they were able to make it as far as they did into the playoffs.
yeah. So the question of the day is, does platooning work? Can it win you a championship? And I suppose in a perfect world, everything goes right. It can win you a championship on a, fluke type basis. It's not going to be on a regular basis. It's
Sustained.
kind of like the NBA for years. You can never win a championship without a big man with just a, 3-point shooting team. Well, the Warriors were able to disprove that, and the game's changing. Now the game in baseball seems to have been changing a little bit too, and we're going to all this, more analytics. What do they call it? Sabermetrics
Yeah.
and all these different things. But when it really comes down to, Eric, is you got to have the talent,
Yes.
and it's going to be rare when you can platoon five guys a night, where you're rotating your entire outfield like the Giants typically do. They put the lefties in against the right-handers and the right-handers against the lefties, and they rotate a couple spots. I mean, I looked at right now, the way the Giants are structured, when they're fully healthy, it looks like Estrada and Davis would be regulars, and Patrick Bailey maybe. I would say Conforto, but they just benched him 3 consecutive games against the left-hander. So that tells me they must be giving up on the experiment of him playing every day.
Yeah. Or he may be fighting injury. That's possible, but
it's possible, but nothing was announced that he was fighting anything.
True.
And then Haniger, when he comes back in September, is he going to be an everyday guy, or are they going to stick with the platoon? Because you got Sable out there in left field, and you got Yaz that can play out there, and then you got Luis Gonzalez that may be ready to play. He's now in AAA and probably be available to start, in a couple of weeks after 2-3 weeks of kind of a mini spring training again, all over for Luis Gonzalez. So I don't know. It's frustrating to watch. To see Luciano pinch hit for just got me really thinking. And I thought to myself, why is that the Giants' philosophy at the big league level, but not, throughout the minor league system? And here's all I can come up with. The Giants haven't had the players in the minors so far until we're seeing this year. Maybe this platoon stuff stops when all these guys arrive and are playing at a level. Maybe when Luciano and Matos and Von Brown and Grant McCray and others, Casey Schmidt and
Fitzgerald,
a couple other guys. Maybe the philosophy changes and they've got their guys and now they play them every day. And let's hope that's the case. But as of now, the tenure under Farhan Zaidi since he took over in 2019 has been to platoon guys. And my thinking is this: they didn't have the guys in the minor leagues to go out and make trades for stars, and they haven't been able to sign free agents that are stars, other than the Correa deal, which obviously fell through. But they haven't been able to get any real stars that play every day. And so what's left is they have to mix and match and play guys like, it's Yaz and Slater, and then it's the whole thing. It's been the whole regime, the whole 4 or 5 years of it has been constant platooning.
Yeah, it has been.
And only, Brandon Crawford in the past few years has been a regular. When Belt was out there, he was a regular. But it's, they even had guys like Jason Vosler, a left-handed third baseman or utility guy, they'd move around when they were facing right-handers to have a lefty in the lineup. And I'm convinced if they had a lefty left-handed hitting infielder that played third base, or they would be platooning more of JD Davis.
True.
I just could see it.
Yep.
So it's
frustrating.
It's been really frustrating. So I really want to see the Giants going forward is maintain your top prospects and grow with them. Casey Schmidt should be playing hopefully third base in the near future, not this year, but in the years coming. Luciano at short, give him the shot. Estrada at second. I'm fine with Wade at first, but I think you're probably going to have to maybe platoon him a little bit because he doesn't hit great against left-handed pitching. But the outfield, let's go with Matos every day in center. And let's see some of these other guys come up, whether it be Vaughn Brown or Elliot Ramos or.
Well, we'll see Haniger because they signed him for 3 years. So
yeah, I think we're going to see Haniger. Hopefully he can, come back and produce at a high level and warrant that contract that they gave him, and he can stay healthy. He's had some bad luck this year. We're getting hit in the breaking his bone. But hey, on a good note, I just did hear yesterday that Mitch Haniger is fully healed. He went and had X-rays Wednesday in LA. The fracture is completely healed. And he can now begin baseball activities.
Well, he's got to build up that muscle because you lose muscle.
Yeah. I would say 1st of September, I would think we're going to see in just over a month, we'll probably see Haniger. He'll probably in a few weeks, couple weeks, get a rehab assignment, give him 2 to 3 weeks of playing, and
maybe be down in your neck of the woods in Arizona, maybe.
Maybe so, yeah. And then he'll probably move up to AAA after a while, give him, closer to look of big league pitching. But anyway, that's about all we really had as far as covering today. Eric, what do we got on tap coming up? We got a special we're going to be doing on
trade deadlines.
Yep, trade deadlines. So
yeah, that's going to be interesting. We're going to probably come out with a video with that, specifically talking about trades and kind of what's happened. Maybe see what's going to. It's going to be a moving target because it's a lot of things are going to be happening between now and August 1st. But we'll put out a video for that, and then of course we got our post game tonight. Probably going to be around 9:45, 10 o'clock since it's a later start tonight.
Yeah, 7:15 start, probably closer to 10 o'clock, 9:45, 10, right in there tonight, depending on the speed of the game. Webb's pitching, so maybe it moves faster if he's got his stuff. And we'll probably tomorrow on Saturday, we'll probably put that out on the trade.
Yeah, that sounds good.
A lot of things happening in the trade movement. Dodgers have made another move. They just traded for Lance Lynn and
Joe Kelly.
Joe Kelly.
He's heading back to LA, as a matter of fact.
To LA. Yeah, they sent Trace Thompson back to Chicago where he was originally.
And Astro signed Kendall Graveman.
Yeah, I saw that. They got him in a deal. So a lot of guys going back to their old clubs. Kiki Hernandez back to the Dodgers. Dodgers are making moves. Braves have made moves. Astros have made moves. Marlins have made moves. All the contenders. Giants are in a tough situation. They were looking at Giolito, but he went. And the thing is rough is Giolito went to the Angels for their second and third prospects. So what that means is that drives up the price for, guys that are rentals. And I think what's going to happen there, Eric, is players are going to get dealt, but they're either going to go for more. Sellers are going to get more for their, bang for their buck, so to speak. But it also may slow down the deadline until people come back to reality and realize you can't give up a 2 and a 3 prospect for, not a superstar. I mean, a
Exactly.
mid-level type pitcher. Giolito's not number 1 or 2. At least he's not been pitching like that. He's probably closer to a 3. He'll help you if he could help the Angels, but Giants can't be giving up their number 2 and 3 prospects, which happen to be Luciano and Matos, for a rental. There's no way. So here's an idea before we leave. Here's kind of the things that I'm thinking that the Giants should be looking to do. Go get a guy like Verlander. See if he'll waive the no trade clause.
Speaking of Verlander, there's a lot of suitors out there. Reds have been in the talk. Rangers, a reunion with the Astros, and then of course the Giants. So we'll see.
In my opinion, what the Giants should be doing is trading off guys like DeSclafani and Manaea to offset, take on $43 million of Verlander for the rest of this year, next year. Plus, he's got a $35 million player option in 25 at age like 42-ish or something. So my view is, if you're going to take on that salary, give some of that salary back. Give the Mets DeSclafani and Manaea. They would only have them for next year. And Manaea could opt out, but he probably won't. But the Mets probably wouldn't even mind if he opted out, because it saves them $12+ million. And then give up a couple of prospects, okay, for taking on DeSclafani and Manaea. So maybe you give up a number 9 prospect, like a Mason Black, which is tough to see, let him go. And maybe your number 5 prospect, like Grant McCray, the outfielder. So that's a guy that's a couple years away, where Mason Black would be ready to go next year. It's tough to give up, but you're getting a Hall of Fame pitcher, and you're getting a top of the rotation starter. So you're going to have to give up something. So that's the kind of trade that I would like to see the Giants do, is give up those kind of prospects, and along with DeSclafani, Manaea. And I think I don't know if that can work, but that's the kind of things we'll be bringing up tomorrow.
And then whatever else comes up, the Arenado's out there. We don't know what's going to happen with Arenado, but you never know.
I don't think he gets dealt. I couldn't see the Cardinals get rid of him. Cardinals are having a down year, but they want to bounce back next year. And so, but well, you never know. You're right. You never know. Sometimes
this time of the year, I mean, we didn't expect Scherzer and Trey Turner to go to the Dodgers a couple of years ago. So
right.
And they got the farm to make those kind of
deals.
I'll
tell you, we can read this. We can talk about this tomorrow when we do the trades. But I got an article from the Dodgers that talked about their prospects might be very highly overrated. That none of them have really produced since Will Smith. Since 2018, the Dodger prospects that are coming up.
Well, Hosea Gray, he's been okay for Washington.
Yeah, Gray has been okay, and they also traded away O'Neill to the Pirates.
Yeah.
So a couple of their prospects they traded have done great, but the guys that they've actually brought up to the Dodgers, only Will Smith's been the one that's produced. But anyway, we'll be back tonight in 9:45. Hit the like and subscribe button, and not sure if the comments will be available. We've had a little issue with that. If they are available in the below,
leave a comment, please.
Leave a comment and like and subscribe.
Make sure you like and subscribe, please.
Yes, awesome. Hey, thanks everybody for tuning in to the NorCal Sports Network. We'll see you tonight.
See you.